Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. Today we are reviewing the discovery of a future defining element. On April 6, 2026 at 8:25 pm exactly, a silent alarm went off in the global energy markets. India's Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor at Kalpakkam achieved criticality. In the world of nuclear science, criticality is the Goldilocks zone. It is the point at which a sustained and controlled nuclear fission chain reaction begins. At this stage, neutrons produced by fission equal those lost through absorption and leakage, resulting in a stable power output. This moment at Kalpakkam is the second shot for a three-stage mission India has been running since the 1950s. It is the bridge that will eventually allow us to tap into an energy source that is cleaner, safer, and more abundant than anything we have ever known. We are talking about the god of thunder, Thorium. But to understand why this element holds this much importance, we have to stop looking at the reactor and start looking at the rock. We have to travel back 200 years to a time when thorium was a ghost, a professional embarrassment, and a misidentified mineral in a Swedish copper mine. Our story begins in 1815 with Johannes Jacob Berzelius. In the history of science, Berzelius was one of the heavyweight champions of chemistry. If you have ever written a chemical formula like H2O or CO2, you are using the notation system Berzelius invented. He was the grand librarian of the periodic table. In 1815, a sample of a dark heavy mineral arrived at his desk from the Falun copper mine in Sweden. Falun was a legendary site. Its copper roofed the cathedrals of Europe. Inside this sample, Berzelius isolated a substance that seemed entirely new. Wanting a name that matched the unyielding weight and strength of his discovery, he looked to the Norse mythology of his homeland and chose Thor, the god of thunder. He named the element thorium. He published his findings and the scientific world celebrated. But science is a process of brutal self-correcting refinement. 2 years later, Berzelius realized that he had made a career-defining miscalculation. Upon retesting with more precise reagents, he discovered his thorium was actually just a complex phosphate of yttrium, an element that had already been discovered. It was as if the world's most famous jeweler had held up a piece of high quality glass and told the world that it was a 100-carat diamond. It was a professional humiliation. Berzelius, a man of absolute integrity, issued a public retraction and struck the name thorium from the record. For the next 13 years, thorium didn't exist. It was a phantom element, a ghost of a name that served only to remind the father of chemistry of his greatest mistake. This delay was a pivot point in history. While the Industrial Revolution was being forged in coal and steam, the most powerful energy source on the planet remained misidentified as a common slag. The god of thunder wouldn't stay buried forever. In 1828, the setting shifted to the rugged coastline of Loe Island in Norway. A man named Morten Thrain Esmark, a local priest and a passionate amateur mineralogist, was exploring the granite outcrops of the island. He found a black, glassy mineral that was incredibly heavy for its size. He sent it to his father, Jens Esmark, a famous professor of geology. When the professor couldn't identify it, the rock was sent across the border to Stockholm, landing right back on the desk of Johannes Jacob Berzelius. Berzelius, now wary of another mistake, began an exhaustive chemical analysis. He discovered that nearly 60% of the rock consisted of a completely new metallic oxide. In a move of scientific redemption, he reclaimed the name he had lost. He named the mineral thorite and the element within it thorium. Berzelius described pure thorium as a silvery white metal that was soft, malleable, and incredibly dense. What no one in the 1828 could have imagined was the secret hidden inside its nucleus. They thought it was just another metal for the periodic table. They didn't know that they had found a billion-year battery. In 1898, just 2 years after the discovery of radioactivity, Marie Curie and Gerhard Karl Schmidt independently discovered that thorium was radioactive. It was only the second element ever found to be radioactive after uranium. But thorium's radioactivity was and is deeply strange. The half-life of thorium-232 is 14.05 billion years. The entire universe is estimated to be 13.8 billion years old. That means if you had a kilogram of thorium at the moment of the Big Bang, roughly half of that kilogram would still be here today. This makes thorium exceptionally stable. While uranium-235 requires heavy lead shielding, thorium is a gentle giant. It decays so slowly that you can hold a sample of it in your hand with virtually no risk. Its alpha particles can't even penetrate a sheet of paper or the outer layer of your skin. But this stability is a double-edged sword. Because it is so stable, it is incredibly hard to ignite in a reactor. It is the gentle giant that refuses to wake up unless you hit it with something much more aggressive. Before we ever used thorium for power, we used it for its superpowers. When thorium bonds with oxygen to form thorium dioxide or thoria, it becomes an engineering titan. Thorium dioxide has a melting point of 3300 degrees Celsius, nearly 6000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the highest melting point of all known oxides in the entire universe. Because it is practically indestructible by heat, thorium's first global impact was in light. In 1885, Carl Georg von Welsbach invented the gas mantle. He soaked a mesh in thorium, and when you light the gas, the mesh refuses to melt. Instead, it glows with a white brilliance, and this is called incandescence. Long before the LED, the world's cities were literally lit by the god of thunder. But the utility didn't stop at light. Thoria has an exceptionally high refractive index. Throughout the 20th century, high-end camera lenses from Leica or Canon were often doped with thorium. It allowed lenses to be thinner and sharper. If you have a vintage lens today that has turned a slight golden or yellow tint, that is the thorium inside slowly tanning the glass over decades. Now, let's get into the meat of the physics. Why are we talking about 200-year-old camera lenses and gas mantles in a video about the future of energy? It comes down to two words: fertile versus fissile. Think of a nuclear reactor like a fireplace. Fissile material is like dry kindling. You hit it with a match a neutron in this case, and it catches fire immediately, splits and releases energy. That is uranium-235. On the other hand, fertile material is like wet logs. You can't just throw a match at it and expect a fire. Thorium-232 is that wet log. However, if you put that wet log of thorium inside a fireplace that is already burning with kindling like plutonium being used at Kalpakkam, something miraculous happens. The thorium absorbs a neutron and transmutes into uranium-233. Uranium-233 is a superlog. It is fissile. It fissions more efficiently than the uranium we find in nature. By using a little bit of kindling, you turn your wet log into superfuel, and we have enough thorium on this planet to power human civilization for tens of thousands of years. So, if thorium was discovered in 1828 and its potential was known by 1900s, why aren't we all using it? The challenge isn't finding it. Thorium is everywhere. It's in the dirt beneath your feet. It's concentrated in the monazite sands on the beaches of India, Brazil, and Australia. The challenge is building the impossible engine to burn it. Mastering a fertile metal requires a level of patience and long-term vision that most nations simply do not have. It requires a plan that spans decades and not election cycles. It requires a relay race where the waste of one generation becomes the fuel for the next. In our next video, we are going to look at the man who looked at India's beach sands in the 1950s and saw a path to total independence. We are talking about the architect of the dream, Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhabha. We will explore his legendary 3-stage program. Stay curious.